Have you ever felt tired in a way that sleep cannot fix? The kind of tiredness that lives quietly inside your chest, built from moments when you said yes, even though your heart whispered no. Maybe you keep showing up for people who disappear when you need them. Maybe you give your time, your energy, your peace, hoping someone will finally see your worth. And yet, the more you offer, the more invisible you feel. There is a silent guilt that follows you, telling you that if you stop being available, you will stop being loved. But deep down, a small voice wonders, asterisk, why do I feel empty when I give so much? Asterisk, this story is for that quiet voice inside you. Because what happened next changed everything. And it may show you a truth you've forgotten. You are not a tool for everyone to use. Arin was the kind of person everyone liked to lean on. He had a soft smile, the kind that made people believe he would never say no. If someone needed a ride, he offered. If a coworker fell behind, he stayed late. If a friend called at midnight, he answered before the second ring. People often said, Arin is the most helpful person I know, and he would smile, pretending those words filled him. But inside, he felt strangely hollow, as if each yes took a small piece of him away. He chased approval the way others chase breath, believing that being needed meant being valued. He didn't realize he was teaching the world to ignore his limits. And though he kept telling himself it was fine, a quiet feeling followed him. This habit of always being available was slowly building a cost he could no longer see. Each day followed the same quiet pattern. Arin arrived early, knowing someone would ask for help before the morning even settled. He took on extra tasks with a polite nod, even when his own work was waiting. When coworkers slipped away at the end of the day, he stayed behind to finish what they left undone. His evenings were no different. Messages asking for favors, calls asking for advice, people needing a little more of him, always a little more. Arin answered every time. He told himself this was what good people did. He told himself love was something you earned by being endlessly available. But behind his gentle smile lived a deep fatigue, a heaviness that pressed on his chest like slow-moving shadows. He moved through life as if carrying a backpack filled with invisible stones every day, another weight he didn't know how to put down. He believed that if he stopped helping, he would lose his place in people's hearts. He didn't see that he was losing pieces of himself instead. The day unraveled faster than Arin could breathe. A coworker rushed to him with a stack of unfinished tasks, saying they knew he wouldn't mind. A friend called, asking for a favor that would steal his lunch break. His family messaged, reminding him of something they needed done before evening. Every voice pulled at him, each request wrapping around his time like tightening threads. He wanted to rest, just a moment to sit, to breathe, but he convinced himself he had no right to pause. Others came first. He always came last. By afternoon, he realized he had missed something important for himself, a small appointment he had been looking forward to for weeks, a quiet promise of rest he had postponed too many times. The realization pressed against him like a wave he couldn't step back from. His hands trembled, his breath thinned. He walked outside and sat on a cold step, feeling everything inside him sink. There were no tears, only a deep collapse, a silence where his own needs disappeared completely. He felt like he had become a shadow in his own life, useful but unseen, present but empty. Then someone unexpected noticed him. An old carpenter from the neighboring workshop stepped outside, noticing Arin sitting alone, shoulders heavy like they were holding years instead of hours. The man walked slowly, his footsteps gentle, as if he didn't want to disturb the fragile quiet around him. Without asking anything, he sat beside Arin, giving him space to breathe. After a moment, he spoke in a voice warm enough to steady trembling hands. "You look worn, son." "Too much weight for one heart." Arin tried to smile, but the effort cracked at the edges. The carpenter didn't push. He simply listened as Arin whispered small pieces of truth, how everyone relied on him, how he couldn't say no, how he felt guilty even thinking about himself. When Arin finally fell silent, the old man nodded softly, like he had heard this story 100 times before. Then he said, "A door that stays open all day loses its strength." Arin blinked, confused. A door? He didn't understand what that had to do with the ache inside him. But the carpenter only smiled, as if the real lesson was just beginning. Arin didn't understand. until the carpenter showed him. The carpenter pointed toward the wooden door of his workshop, its surface smooth and sturdy despite years of use. "Do you see that door?" he asked softly. "It opens every morning, but only when it needs to. When the work is done, it closes. Not because it is unkind, but because it must rest to stay strong." Arin followed his gaze, unsure where the lesson was leading. The carpenter continued, "If that door stayed open all day and all night, the wind would wear it down. Dust would settle on it. Strangers would push through without care. Little by little, it would lose its strength, its shape, its purpose." He paused, letting the picture settle. "But when it opens with intention, it protects what is inside. It welcomes those who respect it." The old man turned to Arin, his eyes gentle. "Your heart is the same. You think keeping yourself open to everyone makes you good. But a heart with no boundaries is a heart that cannot stay whole. Saying no is not rejection. It is to care for the home inside you." Something shifted quietly in Arin's chest. For the first time, Arin saw himself clearly. Later that week, Arin felt the familiar pull when a coworker asked him to take on yet another task. His instinct rose quickly to say yes, stay useful, stay liked. But the carpenter's words rested in his chest like a steady hand. With a quiet breath, Arin said, "I can't help this time." His voice trembled, expecting disappointment, maybe irritation. Instead, the coworker paused, nodded, and said, "I understand. Thanks for letting me know." The simple respect in those words surprised him. A small warmth spread inside, yet real. For the first time, he sensed a courage growing from his own worth. In the days that followed, Arin practiced opening and closing his heart with intention. He still helped others, but only when he truly had the space. He no longer rushed to every call or abandoned his own needs to appear kind. And as he protected his time, something remarkable happened. He felt lighter, as if a quiet breeze moved through his life. His mind grew calmer, his steps steadier. People began treating him differently too, not as someone they could lean on endlessly, but as someone they needed to respect. With each gentle boundary, Arin stepped closer to a new identity shaped by self-respect. You were never meant to be available to everyone. Your time is sacred, and your energy deserves protection. When you honor your own limits, others learn to honor them too. Value yourself gently, and you will see how differently the world begins to treat you. If this story touched you, share it with someone who gives too much. A gentle reminder can help them breathe again.